Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I hope everybody is having a great Sunday while I am out enjoying myself. Make sure to enjoy this pre-recorded video talking about the gubernatorial elections in Virginia and in New Jersey. New Jersey, we haven't talked about. I did a video on Virginia. And I said, okay, if there's any chance at a Republican takeover in Virginia anytime soon, it's now. But even then, don't exactly believe it's going to happen. No ad today. We're just going to get right into this. Maybe a little bit of a shorter video. But in Virginia, we have a Trafalgar poll. Trafalgar, again, like I said, they are a Republican-leaning poll. However, they have been surprisingly accurate in most swing states. They got better in the Sun Belt this recent election cycle, except for Georgia. But even then, they did pretty well in the runoffs. Virginia, they didn't do so hot in the 2017 election when it came to predicting the governorship. But even so, you have a poll that has Terry McAuliffe and Glenn Youngkin neck and neck. And you also have a good amount of pollsters that also show this being a potentially closer race than expected. Now, the VCU poll, VCU is one of the more notable polls in the state of Virginia, although it used registered voters instead of likely voters. It was 40-37 McAuliffe. There were some other polls that had McAuliffe up by 8 or 9, but still, he's only been at 50% in one poll. The other polls have had him in the mid to high 40s, which says a lot because McAuliffe actually has a high name recognition. He previously served as governor from 2013 to 2017, but still, he's not really polling at 50% as he should, which many people are saying, okay, Youngkin may actually make this close, or Youngkin may actually end up having an upset over McAuliffe. Do I believe it's going to happen? I think it's going to be close because I think of the energy factor and that it's going to be on the Republican side. But I do think McAuliffe probably does end up holding on by around 3 to 4 points. Republicans may make it a little bit closer in the legislature, and actually, they may pick off the Attorney General's office, given a lot of the polling that I've seen for that. Mark Herring in a little bit of a rut there, but we'll have to see. Nothing's for certain, but it seems like they may get a statewide office or two at most, and they may actually flip a couple of seats in the House of Delegates. The Senate, I believe, is only up every 4 years, so that's not really on the radar. But you could look at Virginia here in 2017. Obviously, Democrats had the energy factor. Rolf Northam won by 9. Ed Giuseppe again. The RNC, so incompetent. You could not find this guy's college yearbook that had all the dirt in the world that you needed on him. And you still went out there and you still lost by 9 and you couldn't do it. It took the National File. The National File. We love the National File, don't we, folks? But they actually were the ones to find that yearbook. And they were also the ones to expose Cal Cunningham in North Carolina, too. But that's beside the point. Ed Giuseppe lost by 9, despite the fact that 3 years earlier in that Senate election in Virginia, he only really lost by a point or two. But still, it's an uphill climb for Republicans in Virginia. Should Republicans spend time and energy? They probably should, just because we have nothing else going on this year besides California. And because McAuliffe, obviously, if he wins by 1 or 2, or maybe you do get an upset, it is a massive morale booster for Republicans ahead of 22 and a morale blow to Democrats. Youngkin is not particularly a rhino. He is more of a run-of-the-mill type of, Ted Cruz level conservative. He's not like a Trumpian character, but he's not the worst in the world. He would not be the worst governor, and he potentially could push the state to the right. And if Republicans have a good year in 2022, 2023, maybe they could narrowly retake the state Senate, and you could have 2 years of just Republican policy, just torturing the liberal bureaucrats in Nova. It would be hilarious. But if Youngkin does get through, honestly, it probably is going to be because of Hispanic voters in the Fairfax area, which, by the way, don't really vote Republican, but if they make a shift and he can get a large white working class turnout in the general election, it's possible. Not saying it's going to happen, but it is possible, but we'll have to see. The gains that we see in South Texas and even in certain parts of Los Angeles County, California with Hispanics, there's really no guarantee they're automatically going to translate in Virginia, maybe a little bit here and there as they did in the 2020 election, but not really enough to offset the leftward shift in Nova, although I do expect Youngkin to do much better in Nova than Donald Trump did in the 2020 election. If you look at Fairfax County, 28%. Loudoun County, he got 36%. This was a county that was neck and neck between Obama and Romney. And Trump lost Prince William significantly. This used to be a county Bush would win. Stafford County, Trump won that in 2016. He lost that now. So I do believe that in Virginia that Youngkin is going to take Stafford County, and he will probably crack 40 in Prince William and Loudoun, but I don't even think it's going to be enough. He may do better downstate, but still, like I said, it's going to be closer than the presidential election in 2016, but it's not going to be really like super competitive, razor thin, but we'll see. It's still early. But we also have to talk about New Jersey. There was a poll that came out of New Jersey out of nowhere. It is a Republican poll. I must have to say that because that is the disclaimer, but Phil Murphy is up over Republican Jack Ciattarelli by just 2 percentage points in this poll. And in the head-to-head, without the third-party candidates, it is a 1-point game with a D+18 sample, which actually is a Democrat oversample. But compared to the other polling we've seen, there's been polls that have shown Phil Murphy ahead by like 15 to 20 points, where he's at 50%. But could this be closer than expected? Maybe. It's under the radar. But you look at New Jersey. Again, New Jersey in 2017, Phil Murphy won against Chris Christie's lieutenant governor. He won by roughly around 13.5 points. So could it be within 10? It's very possible. Obviously, it could be. We really haven't seen that yet. But in the meantime, again, it could come down to the working class white support in a place like Ocean County, combined with how does the Hispanic vote in a place like Newark move, because it moved vastly to the right in the northeastern part of the state in 2020. Will it continue in 2021? We'll have to see. But again, it just comes down to turnout because, yeah, maybe Hispanics do move right, but it also could just be because right-leaning Hispanics are more likely to turn out because Republicans have the energy factor as they did in 2014. So that is something that is yet to be seen. We will see what happens in New Jersey as well. But in 2020, like I said, this is a state that voted for Joe Biden by 16 percentage points. Obviously, Ocean County, that's where Republicans always run up the margins. Trump won that county. It was one of his largest raw vote wins in the whole country. He won that county by 98,500 votes, almost by 100,000 votes. I think there were only a few counties Trump won by 100 grand. I think it was Utah County in Utah, Montgomery County in Texas, several counties. But Ocean County is one of them, and it flies under the radar. But it's a little bit beside the point. You look throughout this state. Yeah, obviously there may be some room for Republicans to grow, but is it really going to be a viable state for Republicans to target in the future? No. But in this governorship election, maybe it's closer than expected. It's not going to be within 2 or not going to be within 1. I encourage everyone to vote in every election, but I just don't believe that this is not enough evidence for me. One Republican internal poll that has Murphy at 46. Now, Ciattarelli could get above 45. This is true, and it could be within 10. Could be like a 7-point win for Phil Murphy. And if that's the case, that's good news for Republicans. Same thing for what's going on in Virginia. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle out.